number, and sum.b will store the imaginary part. And then you can return sum and it would print. Similarly for the other operations as well.
So your functions, all the three functions are returning what?
They are returning a complex object.
The complex object which contains the respective result of the operation.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And to print it, it's in another function which would print the number.
Okay. Okay. So what are you doing there?
In the print function. Now, since we have, since the imaginary part has an I over there, so if the imaginary number is greater than 0, it's positive, so I can add a plus. And if it's less than 0, the number will definitely have a negative sign. So that's how it's for the presentation.
Yes, yes. And if it's not positive or negative, so it will be 0. So just print.
Only the real part will be printed.
Fine, correct. Okay, execute.
Ma'am, can you tell me a number?
4, 4, 5.
Second number?
-7, -8.
Okay, so the sum over here is -3 minus 3i. So 4 minus 7 is -3, 5 minus 8 is -3. Difference minus of -7 would be 4 plus 7, so 11. And 5 minus of -8 would be 5 plus 8, 13.
Yes.
And for product, a product was actually computed. Okay, so that would be A into C. I have the formula here. Num1 dot A into num2 dot A.
Oh, that's fine. Product to your.
But it's right. I've already computed it. It's right.
Yes, yes, Shreya. Shreya, just share this program to me, a text file.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Nancy, have you done the changes? Students, this is how you are supposed to design the program with respect to classes and objects. And I know many things which can shorten your code, but as a part of exam point of view, this is how you have to do. Okay? Yes? Yes, students? No.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, try to cultivate the habit of writing programs. So I'll also give you some more programs. So I just want you people to learn that. Okay, Nirmal, is that fine? You saw how it moves, Nirmal?
Ma'am, but
you want to shorten the code? Huh?
The things are there which can make my code much simpler. Then why to make it simply lengthy?
You can do it as a part of enhancement. Okay, but as part of exam point of view, you have to do it in this way only.
Is a problem, ma'am. If I do like this in exam, they will think this is wrong. But actually, it's right.
It's right. Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. It is right. I'm not telling you it is wrong. But this is, you are learning only the basic concept of OOP as per your syllabus. The extended knowledge what you have, you can apply it as a part of your placements and I mean when you start your job career opportunities, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Follow this as part of exam point of view. Okay. Nancy, you told you've done changes. You want to present, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. 1 minute.
Quickly.
Can you see the screen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I've taken two now. One is C for the first complex number, and another I've taken P for the second complex number.
Okay. Fine.
Then I have given it directly in the function.
Okay. See, what are your attributes names decided for your class? What attributes?
It is P, ma'am.
Real one and no attribute names I'm asking. Instance.
A real one and imaginary one for first complex number and real 2 and imaginary
You
2 for the
have instance attributes will be different for every objects of a class.
Mom, you can give it as 1 also, 2 also, Mom. It won't make any
It should be same. It should be same, Nancy. Because instance attributes, every object will have its own copy. Understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
It has its own copy, so you not have to worry about it. Okay? It is real one of any object will be different from real one of the other object.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you understanding? And one more thing, you have created two different variables there. That is real and imaginary inside the function.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you should create an object which stores your result.
Ma'am, I've not created object since I'm printing it there only, ma'am, in the function.
Okay, since you're printing it there in the function, you have not created objects, but then preferably create object. Okay, I think that's fine. Since you're printing there, you have not cultivated that. Okay, the thing that you have to note, every object of any class that you consider will have same attributes. Okay, instance attributes. Don't give different instance attributes for different objects of the same class. Getting, Nancy? Okay. Yes or no? Where are you? Nancy? Yes.
ma'am.
Okay. Good, ma.
Yes, ma'am.
So good.
Should I run?
It's okay. It's okay. No problems. I should take class also. No. Okay. So thank you, Nancy and Shreya, and thank you, Nirmal, also for presenting the same. But I want you, the others also should work on it. I don't know, all of you are keeping the mobiles on, moving around the home. Is that so? Yes? No? No answer. No answer means it is, you're not there in the class. Students.
Yeah, ma'am.
There. Okay. Fine. So today's class, see, I want you people to keep in touch with what is being done with the classes. Okay. So moving on to module 4, I think I'm ending with the first topic, classes and objects today. Okay. The recap, I had told you something about a rectangle object, which illustrated you regarding an attribute of a class can be an object of another class. That's possible. That's what I just told you. Then I told you instances or the objects can be returned from any function. We also saw objects are mutable, mean to say objects can be modified once they are created. Then followed with assignment we had seen, but we did not see about copying objects in the last class. So we'll see about copying the objects for today's class as an agenda. Then usage of instance and has attribute functions, not methods. They are the functions. Is instance, sorry. Usage of is instance and has attribute function. We'll see. Followed with usage of private and protected instance variables with the assignment followed. Right. So you all know that when I try to copy an object, basically, so you know that when I pass an object from a function call to a function definition, what will happen? Will it create a separate object or it is just an alias?
Alias, ma'am.
An alias. So we all know that an object basically will be aliased when it is assigned to another object of the same class. Very important. Okay. So you cannot assign one object of one class to another object of other class. That's not possible. You cannot go and sit from 5th sem to 7th sem. It is not possible, right? Similar wise, an object of one class can be assigned to another object of the other class. See, when you assign it, they don't create separate objects, rather they are just alias, right? Alias in sense, it is an alternate name given to the object, right? So when all such things like aliasing will happen. So first case, when I put a direct object assignment, see when I write P2 equals to P1, what are this P2 and P1? Okay, so P1, say I first create an object of class point, I'll write P1 equals to P2. So what is it happening now? Can anybody guess? When I write such thing, assume that P1 is a point class object. What is P2? Is P2 a different point class object or what it is, students? What it is? When I
Alias of P1.
alias to P1. So P1 can either be referred by using P1 or P2, no harm. Similarly, the third way is when an object is passed as an argument to a function. So we have seen this already. So when I pass an argument to a function, it is just an alias, right? So any modification you do inside the function, will it be reflected outside the function? Yes or no? Yes or no? Since it is an alias, any changes that I do using that name, will it reflect outside the function? Students, answer. You will answer, will you not? Are you all there? Tell me whether it will
Yes, ma'am.
reflect or not reflect. It will, as it is an alias,
It will, ma'am.
right, to the argument, it will definitely reflect. The next third method is when an object is returned from a function. So when I return an object from a function, see, I'm returning one object, I'll assign it to some other object during the function call. So that time also it will not create any new object. Whatever is towards the LHS of your function call is just an alias to the object which is returned from the function, right? So we'll see this. I'll just show you in that thing. But then I want to copy an object. Copy means to say what? What do you mean by copy? Give me a copy of your Mars code, Mars card. If I tell, what will you do? What will you do? I ask you to, you will take another copy of it. That is similar to taking a Xerox or take a print, isn't it? So whatever it is, scan and take a print. So similarly, when I tell copying an object, I don't want aliasing. I want a separate copy to be created using the existing object. That means to say, I wanted something like this. I wanted P1, which is already having X and Y at some location. I wanted to create another object, P2, which also has X and Y, because I'm aliasing, sorry, I'm assigning to P1 definitely. This should also have X and Y, which has got the same values 10 and 20. So I just wanted to create a new object using an existing object such that the new object will have a different physical memory. It is a different object, but it should have same attribute and values. I wanted such thing to happen. But earlierly what happened when I did P2 equals to P1? What happened? Can you give me the representation when I wrote P2 equals to P1? Was P2 pointing to a new object or where it was pointing?
It was pointing to the same memory location.
Location of what?
Of P2, of P1.
Okay, it was pointing here only, but I just don't want this to happen. I want a separate memory location to be created having the same attributes and the values using my existing object. You all know how to create a separate new object. Which module and which function? Quickly. Which module and which function should I use, students?
The copy.
Which module?
Copy function.
Which module?
Copy.
Copy module. So we have a copy module to support such things, which is not happening with normal assignment operator. Assignment operator usually does that. Since I'm not getting that, so I should use a module called as a copy, and there's a method called as what, ma? Copy, right? Which is there inside the module. So simply I'll have to use a statement like this. P2 is equal to copy dot copy. What is this first copy?
Module.
Second is your method name. So when I do such thing, normally you can see it will create a separate copy now, right? So it will just create a separate copy. P2 is a separate copy now, which contains the attributes same as X and Y, and the values is also 3.0 and 4.0. Yes? Yes or no, students? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So let me show you the same. Where is it? Yeah. Is it visible, ma'am? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now you can see I've created a point class whose definition is still empty. Okay. Then I created an instance of point object. Okay. Instance of point class. Sorry. Point class. Then these are X and Y are the attributes. So now cultivate the habit of writing the attributes in the doc string now. You should tell X and Y are the attributes. That will remain the same for every object that you create, right? Then I write a statement like this, P2 equals to P1. Okay, let us now execute and see what happens. Just look at the frame now. Can you all see the frame? The execution portion of it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, so now P1 is an instance of point class, then X is 10. Inside the P1, we have X10, Y20. Now when I write P2 equals to P1, so what is P2 now? P2 is what?
Alias of P1.
P2. Very simple. P2, you can observe this. So it is pointing to the same object where P1 is pointing. Yes. So if I change, suppose say I write a code here, P2.x equals to 30. So what will happen? Will it reflect in P1? Yes, sir.
No.
I write P2.x equals to 30. What will happen? P2.x equals to 30 if I write, what will happen? Will it change the value of x here or somewhere else it will change? Students.
It will change, ma'am.
It will change. P2.x, I will execute that also for you. Just observe that. Point. Fine. Right? See, P2 is an alias to P1. Remember, when it is an alias, see, alias is what? See, if I call you by your name, the registered name, also, you will reply to me. If I call you through your USN, also, you will reply to me. Why? Because USN is just an alias to your name. If I call USN 40, also, who is USN 40? IS 40 is there or CS 40? Anybody is there? Okay. So IS 40 or CS 40 will have some name. So if I call you through name or through your USN, you have to reply. That's an alias. Similarly here, right? So you can see. That's what the changes. It's an alias there. So when I write P2.x, can you observe the change? When I write P2.x is 30, it means that I am changing even P1.x also changes to 30 there. Yes or no, students? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
And we have two operators. So you know double equals. So what does double equals do? Double equals equality operator.
Comparison.
It will check the content or compares whether the two objects are the same. So similarly, with respect to objects, double equals will check for object equivalence. What do you mean by object equivalence? Means the contents of the objects are the same. Means to say, are they having same attributes, same values? Similarly, to check for object identity, we have is. Okay, is operator. Object identity means what, ma? What do you mean by object identity? What do you mean by object identity, students? Every object has an identity, I said. What is that identity? Every house has an address. What is that address? Students?
Location, ma'am, memory location.
Memory location. So object identity means the address of the object in the memory. Right? Memory location of every object. See, every house has an address means, so address is what? Some number, some area, name, street name. Every house has an address. Similarly, every object has an identity. And what is that identity? It is nothing but the address or the memory location in the memory. Right? So to check whether two objects have the same object identity, we give P1 is P2. So takes two operands. Can anybody guess what is the answer for P1 is P2? It returns a Boolean value. Okay. Are they same? True. Yes, because their identities are same. They are P1 and P2 point to the same memory object. Okay. Are the contents same of those two objects?
Yes.
Yes. So it will return true.
Yes.
Let's see. That's what it means. Right? See. Check will be true. Why? Because P1 and P2 are both pointing to the same memory object at the same memory location. So their identities are same. When I mean to say identity, when I ask you what is ID of P1, ID of P1 will be equal to ID of
P2.
right? ID gives you the identity of the object, isn't it? So equality, when I tell, or the object equivalence, it tells whether the contents are the same. Obviously, P1.x is same as P2.x, P1.y is same as P2.y, because they're pointing to the same memory location. Is that clear? Now I don't want such thing to happen. So what should I do now? I want a separate copy. What should I do? Import which module? Import which module, students?
Copy module.
Copy module, and which function should I use?
Copy function.
So now, what is P2? P2 is a duplicate copy of what, students?
P1.
Object P1.
Object P1. So now, I'll remove this code right now. Let's see what will happen now. Okay, so copy instance is there for me. Point class, point instance. P1.x is 10, P1.y is 20. Now just tell me what will happen with this statement. P2 is equal to copy.copy P1. Students, what will P2 now be? How will it be represented here onto your RHS? Quickly.
A separate copy will be in a separate memory location.
A separate memory location wherein P2 will have again x and y with values 10 and
10 and 20.
Can you see that? P1 and P2, they are separate memory locations. They're pointing to different memory locations. Yes. Next, check. What is the value of check in this case?
False.
False, because they are pointing at different memory locations. Definitely check will be false. How about assignment? Equal thing.
True.
Because the contents are the same.
True.
Yes. Oh, you're giving false here. Contents are same, no? Object equivalence. It should be true. Object equivalence. Just to be true there. 1 second. Slot names, empty list. P1 double equals to P2. Something else that interpreter interprets in a different way then. Okay. Anyways, I'll just get back to this assignment operator. Okay, just tell me what will happen in this case. P2 dot x equals to 30. Okay. What will happen? I'll just get back to this next class. Is something which I should look into it. Okay. So what will happen when I write P2 dot x?
The 10 will replace
Changes
y.
only made. Value of x.
Value, will it change P1 dot x? Or it changes
No, ma'am.
P2 dot x?
No.
Can you observe? P2 dot x became 30, whereas P1 is it cannot alter that because it's nowhere accessing it. It's a separate, different copy which has been produced. Okay, check will be false again. Equals is false. Okay, fine. Is that clear, students? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll get back to that assignment operator later. Fine. Suppose say now I have another object called as box, which is an object of which class?
Rectangle class.
Do you know rectangle class? What are the attributes of my rectangle class? What are the attributes? Attributes. Width, the height, and then
Height.
one more attribute is there. Corner, right? So what is it, corner? What is it, corner? Corner is an object of which class? Students. Point, okay?
Point.
Let me write like this. So box equals to box, 2 equals to box, okay? Just see what will happen when I try to write the argument. Do you think this thing will happen? Will it create a separate object for box 2? Or it is pointing to the same memory location of box?
Same memory location.
Same memory location of that of box. Okay. So box 2 will now point to the same memory location of that of box. But I don't want such thing to happen. As you know, you will include copy. Very simple. But then when you do also copy, this will be the object diagram. You see, when I do copy, box is one separate memory location, box 2 is a separate memory location, wherein it will have width, height, again width and height, separate entities. But can you see corner of box and corner of box 2? Are they different? Are they still sharing the same memory location? They are still
Sharing the same memory location.
So why is that so happening? Because your copy.copy, when it duplicates the rectangle object, it will copy the entities but not the point. It will not copy the point for me. See, when I write box 2 is box, it will return false because there are two different entities there. But the corner point, it is still pointing to the same memory location, because copy function will create a shallow copy. Means to say that it will simply copy the object entities and any references, right? It will just copy it, but rather it will not create new copy of the embedded objects. So in order to do that, which method should you use, students?
Deep copy.
So you have to use the deep copy such that the attribute corner is no more shared by both the objects. It should be independent, isn't it? Right? So I should now provide copy called as a deep copy. right? See, when I duplicate, I want entire thing should be independent of each other. So in order to do that, we have a deep copy there. So I'll do that also for you and check. Yeah. So point class is there. So let us do for class rectangle. So you have to include a doc string. That's for the illustration. I'll just put pass for me. Okay. So I'll create box which is equal to an object of class rectangle. Yes. And then box dot width. Say I give 100. Then what, students? Box dot height is equal to 200 and box dot corner. How do I create box dot corner equals to? It's an object of which class first? Point. So I should create first the object of the point class, then initialize its instance variables. So how do I initialize the instance variables of corner? Box dot corner dot
X.
equal to, say for example 3. Then again box dot corner dot y is equal to 4. Yes. So I created object. Let us now create another object. Say box 2 is equal to box 1. Okay. So I give check equals to box 2 is box. Let us see what will happen. Obviously, what is the value of check here? Check value, students?
True.
True. Because they are pointing to the same object. Okay, so I'll just reduce it. Okay, rectangle class, rectangle instance, width, height, corner. Can you see? Corner is a point of class, instance of class, which has the values like this. So when I write box 2 equals to box 1, you can observe here box 2 is still a alias to box, obviously, right? So check will have true there. In order to do this, we all know we have to import the copy module and use the copy function. So what will happen when I do like this? What will happen when I do like this? Is box 2 an alias to box now or a different object? Box 2 is an alias to box.
Different object.
Different object. Can you see now? So box 2 is a different object. But can you see the corner of box 1? Corner of box, sorry, and corner of box 2. What is it happening? Is it pointing to the same location?
Yes.
Yes.
Reason because it just copied the reference. That's it. See, corner is having an address of some location. It just copied it. It did not create a different object for the corner, right? In order to do this, what should I do? What should I check with false? Okay. What should I do? Which should I use?
Deep copy.
Copy. Okay, let us see now. Deep copy means consider the interior objects also. Means everything should be an independent one. Let's see now what happens when I do deep copy. Can you observe? See, box is pointing to one location. The corner is pointing to someone's location there. Box 2, contents are the same. Can you now see box 2 corner is now pointing to this box 1 corner? See this?
No.
They are separate objects. Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So obviously check will be false because they are not pointing to the same entity in the memory. Yes. Yes, yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, I think usage of this, we will see it in the next class. Okay, I think I'll display the assignment to you all. I don't know how many mistakes you would make here, but still try doing it. Okay, so the thing is, I should have a definition for a class circle. The attributes for the definition is center and the radius. Okay, what is the center again now? Here, students, quickly. What is the center? Center is an object of which class again now?
Point.
Point.
Class. And radius is just a number for me. Fine. So what should you do is carefully listen. I don't want any mistakes with respect to this assignment. So instantiate a circle object that represents a circle with its center at 150 and 100. That means to say you should now read the center for the circle, which is 150 and 100. The radius is 75. So you should read one read function, okay, which reads the attributes center and radius. Fine. Then after that, if you want, you include print, no harm, right? Then I basically want you to write a function there, which is point in circle, wherein this takes a circle object. So it takes one parameter, which is a circle object, and a point object, separate point. It is not a point which is there in the circle. It is a separate point, which returns true if the point lies in or on the boundary of the circle. Hope you can understand what I try to.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So if I want you to describe that, it is like something like this. I have a circle, okay, and I have a point, which is what now this is? This is what, students?
Center.
Center. And along with this, I have also given one more entity. What is that?
Radius.
Radius. Right. So I have given one point. Some point I will give to you. Okay. So that point, say it is P. So something like X comma Y, say for example, some point. You should just tell me, return true, if at all XY lies within the boundary or inside the circle. If it is not lying, it should return false. Means to say XY can be here, or can be on the boundary of the circle. No problem. How do you check whether a point lies inside the circle or boundary of a circle? How do you check? How do you check? Students, any idea? How do you check? Okay, say now consider this as my point. How do you, it is lying inside the circle, no? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you check it is inside the circle?
Radius.
Radius. Calculate the distance between which point and which point?
Center and the point which we have.
Yes.
Find.
You have to calculate the distance between the center of the circle and the point which you have given. And what should be the condition? The distance should be what now?
Should be less than or equal to
Radius. So it can be less than or equal to radius. Yes, the distance between the center and the point should be less than or equal to radius. Why less than or equal to radius? Because point can be even on the boundary of the circle. So if it is on the boundary of the circle, what does it mean? It is same as what?
radius.
Radius.
Yes. So I want you to design this. There are two programs, but at least the first one I want you to design only the first one. Forget about the second one. Is that possible, students? Is that possible?
Yes, ma'am.
Try doing it. I want the perfect answer this time. No mistakes. This is one of your exam question. So no mistakes. Perfectly you should design one circle, one point, instantiate one circle object, read the attributes for the circle object, then call one function, check whether the point within that you read is within the circle. Yes, how you design, that's up to you. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Take a snapshot. Anyways, I'll just share it to you. But I want, if you do not do second one also is fine, but first one you should Try doing it. Right? Any doubts, ma'am? Any doubts?
No, no.
Okay. Fine. Any doubt? No doubts? 1 or 2 questions shall I post? I don't think 1 or 2 questions I can ask you. When can we create duplicate of an object? Can we create
Yes,
duplicate?
ma'am.
How?
With the copy module
You
and copy function.
copy module and copy function. Okay. Suppose if objects of one class are having attributes of another class, in that case, having objects of another class as
Using the deep
deep
copy
copy.
method.
You have to use deep. So see, that's what I'm telling you. It's left to the programmer. Which one he has to use is left to the programmer. Very careful. Yes, is that clear? Okay. Which operator checks for object identity?
Yes.
Which operator checks for object equivalence?
Double equals to.
Okay. I think the rest you can deal with that. Okay, fine. Yeah. Any doubts you have, you can ask. Otherwise, you can stop the. I mean, Shubha S. Shetty.